You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. If I had told you on Friday that LSU was going to trail 17-0, that Robbie Ashford was going to throw for 337 yards, that LSU would pass for just 85 yards, and that Jaden Daniels would miss the fourth quarter, you probably would not have thought the result would have been kind for the good guys in purple and gold. But that is a great illustration of what this team is becoming. And I'll reiterate, team's not going to win any championships. They're going to lose games, plural, the rest of the way. But what you are undeniably seeing, when you get down 17-0 on the road at a place like Jordan-Hare, and it's not going well for you offensively, and you find a way to make plays to win the game, when you're down 17-0 and B.J. Ojulari makes a play, strip sack, fumble, scoop and score by Jay Ward, and you're on the board. When Auburn has the ball, hoping for maybe some theatrics or heroics late in the ball game, and Greg Brooks, a veteran dude, just rips the ball out of Coy Moore's hands, just takes it away from him to seal the game. You have tremendous buy-in on this team, on this roster. That much is undeniable at this point with this team. I mean, it is actually really fun to watch how this thing is unfolding. And that was not the case a year ago, y'all. When LSU went to Kentucky, they trailed that game 35-7. Things went bad early, and they never got better. That team did not get off the mat. Same thing a year ago when LSU went to Ole Miss. They got down. The snowball just kept rolling downhill. This is 3 times now we've seen this team get down. They got down to Florida State. They got down to Mississippi State. They got down to Auburn. They almost rallied against Florida State. I mean, they were a block PAT away from sending that thing to overtime. They did finish the rally against Mississippi State, and obviously they did on the road against Auburn. There is something to be said for that. Now, as Brian Kelly was pretty clear on Monday, you can't keep doing that. Look, play number 2, Muse. Brian Kelly was pretty clear. You can't keep getting down and thinking that's going to be enough.
I'm going to say this, and I'll talk to our team about it a little bit later. You know, it's pretty clear this team plays with great heart, and they'll fight. But heart and fight will not win games against the opponents that we're going to have over the next month or so. We're going to have better execution. We're going to have to coach better. And those things we're going to have to be on display starting this weekend against an outstanding Tennessee football team.
He's right. But anytime you go win at Auburn, you celebrate that. And we talked about it all last week. A lot of y'all thought that was going to be a cakewalk, and I sat here all week and look, this ain't a victory lap. It's just the reality. It's hard to win on the road in the SEC. I don't care where it is. It's hard to win at Auburn. It's hard to win at Florida. It's hard to win at Texas A&M. It's hard to win at Mississippi State, at Ole Miss. LSU lost last year at Kentucky. It's hard to win on the road in this league. Ask Georgia, who just went to Columbia, Missouri, and had all they freaking wanted and needed a 2-touchdown fourth-quarter rally to beat Missouri. Missouri. The Missouri that got blasted by Kansas State, Missouri. A couple of takeaways from the game. First and foremost, I think the most important thing from this game is you found your running game. You threw for 85 yards. You threw for 85 yards in the ball game. You ran it for 185. You ran it for 4 yards a carry. I'm not sitting here telling you that it was Auburn Cam Newton 2010 when they ran for 440. But when you had to have it, when your passing game wasn't there, when everybody knew you were going to run it, look at the end of the ballgame. After the takeaway by Greg Brooks, you needed a first down to ice the game. You ran it 3 straight times with Josh Williams right up the gut. They knew it was coming and couldn't stop it. That's something this team a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago couldn't do. I mean, I've sat here and told you, look, Jaden Daniels is going to be your leading rusher. And had he not been injured, he probably would have been your leading rusher, but that's inconsequential because the point that I had been making was you can't run the ball. So Jaden is going to be your leading runner out of necessity. Busted plays, scrambles, all that sort of stuff. Oh, brother, you ran the ball. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that was Fournette in 2017 or 2015. This wasn't like an overwhelming performance, but that was more than competent enough of running the football when you needed to do it, when everyone in the building knew you were going to run the ball and you were able to do it successfully. That's moving bodies, and that was without Garrett Dellinger. That was with Miles Frazier at left guard. Now, it wasn't perfect. Brian Kelly, detailed look on John Emery's fumble. I mean, you had 2 offensive linemen collide. As Brian Kelly said, half the line went left, half the line went right. I mean, it was a disaster. And there were some of those moments. But that's to be expected as you continue to learn and go through those sort of growing pains. But John Emery, how long have we talked about it? I don't need John Emery to carry 18 times for 100 yards. What I need is John Emery who's capable of busting the big one to give me the chunk play, and he did it twice. A 39-yard catch and run on a wheel route that got you down to the 1-yard line. Ultimately, you'd punch it in and take your first lead of the game. And John Emery, that got you closer at halftime. And then John Emery, of course, busted the 20-yard touchdown run where he shed a tackle in the backfield, split 2 defenders, and high-stepped his way into the end zone. He gave you 2 chunk plays that ended up netting you 14 points. That's what I needed to see from John Emery. At times when you needed Josh Williams to get you tough yards, he did. Noah Cain only carried 5 times, but he ran for 21 yards, averaged more than 4 yards a carry. Big dude, fresh legs, closer late in the game. You can see how it's developing. That's one thing that was massive. The other was the second half shutout. You did it to Mississippi State. Now you did it to Auburn in their building. Y'all, it's a massive hat tip to Matt House with what he's doing with this defense. Look, you had a couple of coverage busts early, and they were ugly. It netted a 53-yard touchdown for Auburn on their first possession. And the second score came after a 61-yard catch and run. And you never want to see those things. Obviously, it was Jarquez Hunter, which polished off the 99-yard touchdown drive. But the second half adjustments by this defense are real, and you saw it again. A couple of other things that I noticed in the game, and yes, of course, something we're going to talk a ton about is you got to get more progress, more production in the passing game. Kayshon Boutte had 1 reception for 4 yards. You didn't get Jack Besh involved, 1 catch for 2 yards. You threw for 85. Name the player, nobody had a good day catching the football because you just didn't have a good day throwing and catching. But a couple of things that we've clearly learned. You found yourself your starting linebackers. I don't know if you noticed, but Mike Jones and West Weeks didn't go into the ball game until the first play of that 99-yard drive. And it was, your starters in this ball game were Micah Baskerville, Greg Penn, and, of course, Harold Perkins, who continues to be a freak show. You have very clearly seen the differentiation in your linebackers. And Mike Jones and West Weeks are going to be rotational guys. Your starters are solidified. In the second half, you saw Jones and Weeks come in after LSU took the lead on John Emery's run to go up 21-17. Auburn put together back-to-back first down plays, and then Baskerville was on the field. The first play Baskerville was back on the field was when he jumped up and nearly intercepted the ball right over the middle where he read the quarterback perfectly, and those linebackers stay in the game the rest of the game. So you're starting to see certain things work themselves out. You're seeing your running back rotation. You know your linebacker order right now and who is where. Your secondary you feel really good about. But Jark Bernard-Converse had a really good game as well. You're 5 weeks in. You're 5 games in. You're 4-1. You're learning more about yourself. Yes, you got to get more production out of the passing game. Yes, you got to be better on special teams, which you continue to have issues pop up. You had 4 penalties. 4 penalties on special teams in the first half. Every week it's a different issue. And you've got to iron those out because the third phase for LSU has been anything but special. But you're continuing to see the team get better and better and better and better, and week by week by week. So you got a massive test this week with Tennessee coming in. When you sit here on a Monday after LSU goes on the road and beats Auburn 21-17, where you overcame a 17-point lead, a 17-point deficit, it's a pretty good Monday to be sitting here. So Tigers 2-0 in the league, 4-1 overall. They welcome in Tennessee for an 11 a.m. kickoff Saturday in Tiger Stadium. We'll talk about it all week. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.